Welcome to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. This show is all about honoring you as a spiritual being, having a human experience. You are here for a reason, and it's no mistake that you are here on Earth right now. Spirit has guided you to this very moment in time, so you could hear the messages Pam is about to share with you. She is a multidimensional healer, light language channel, transformation coach, wife and mother, committed to helping you discover the tools and practices to empower you to live the best life you can. You get to choose the spirit path you take. You can connect to the spiritual guidance already all around you. Get ready to live a fully empowered life. This is the Empower Me Show.
Welcome back to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. I am Pam Bright, and I am here with my dear soul sister, Kimberly Crowe, who has joined us from Kentucky. And we are going to share with you, some really great aspects of who we are as souls on the planet Earth. And Kimberly has her own wonderful perspectives about what is happening in the cosmos, as well as what's happening on the earth plane with all of us humans. So we are so excited to be sharing this day with you, this particular episode. Our show is all about how you can find the tools, techniques, and tips that will help you on your spiritual journey and feel empowered as you do that, because there's a lot to learn and a lot to embody in that journey called being a spiritual being, having a human experience. So that's what this show really is all about. And Kimberly, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. So before we get started, what I really like to do, and it feels good for, I think, the folks that are listening, as well as helps those of us who are here on the show itself, to get grounded, get centered, really get separate from the world that we've been in and be in this moment in time right now. So if you would join me, please, wherever you're at. If you're driving, of course, keep your eyes open, and on the road, if you are in a place where you can relax into this and really feel what's coming through me and the drum, then go ahead and close your eyes and just listen from a space of true intuition and your own body's wisdom. So just allow yourself to receive right now for a few seconds here, okay? Creator of all that is, the one who lives and breathes within all things, we thank you for our lives. We thank you for this place. We thank you for this sacred time that we are living in November of 2021. It is an amazing time in history, and we are all so grateful to be gathered in this way, collectively as a human species, and all of those that are present that are really willing to learn and grow and receive from all of the spiritual energies that are available to each one of us. We ask now that each person that is listening to this call, listening to this show, this interaction, this conversation, be present for miracles, magic, and breakthroughs that are always available in every moment. And we ask all spirit guides, teachers, and angels now to enter into this space and time to work with each of us individually and as a collective humanity. Ela kana ki atada iem, no ke la chachana zanamaki, kuyanama la kisanamaki ana seke cheche, sone sanamama, e anamaki ana yekia. We thank you for this time, and we are now ready to be of service to you. I hope. Welcome, Miss Kimberly, to our show.
Thank you so much, sweetheart. Thank you for doing this and holding this sacred space and this container. Thank you for speaking light language today. That was, what a beautiful blessing.
Yes, well, thank you. So those of you who don't know what light language is, my understanding of light language, and I go into that in depth in one of the first shows that we do in the month, which is at the beginning of the month. We talk about light language in a way that you can understand it. So the way it works, as far as my understanding is that they are codes of information. So pockets of information for you, the listener, as a human being having a soul, to be able to really open up and activate all of who you are in every moment. And those of you who are called to what may sound like gibberish to some, and others are like, well, I think I heard something about like speaking in tongues or mother tongue or something like that. You might have heard reference for that. That's what we're talking about when we talk about light language or language of light. So just a little tidbit about that particular toning that you just heard. And I will share with you little bit by little bit each show so that you get some more within your psyche, and hopefully it will ignite some remembering within you about who you've been, who you are, and who you will be as a soul on this planet. So Kimberly, the way I like to start with every guest, and I'm so glad you're here, is that I ask them, and I'll ask you, how is your experience of being a spiritual being, having a human experience?
It depends on what day it is.
I understand that one.
What moment it is in that day and what dimension that I think I'm in and where I really am.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. What is the experience? I think that's what we're trying to wake up and find out, what the experience actually is. And the more we release from our mind construct of what we think the experience is, then we drop into our heart and find out the truth of what it really is. It's not always what it appears to be in the moment, because we're running that movie through all of those constructs that we have within us, and then you go to a different view. It's like some of those, as those clear out and we get our ahas, then we have a whole nother view and a whole nother experience that awaits us for our calling.
I got it. So what I get from what you're sharing is that we have been called, actually in the intro to this particular show, I'm talked about as a multidimensional healer, which it means for me, when I think of multidimensional, I think, oh, so this is not my only reality. And that's what I hear you talking about is there are multiple levels of who we are as human beings and who we have been as human beings, as well as who we will be as human beings. Another thing that I have been introduced to in the last few years is timelines. So really looking at, oh, you mean I could be living a different life as myself on a different planet at a different time space at a either parallel universe or a past life, if you will, or a future life. That's what my understanding is of this multidimensionality. And what I hear Kimberly talking about is the mind matrix and the mind reality. So it's really looking at for yourself, what reality are you in? In my first program that I created, the Full Body System Wellness Program, I actually talk about the human experience and the third dimensional experience of how we are relating to ourselves, to other people in relationship, to society as in general, to our own health, all of the different pieces of what makes up a human being. And then I go into, in the second week of the program, how we can use tools to assist us in really broadening who we are as human beings having a spiritual experience on this planet. And then we bring it all together. So when we look at who we are as a human being, boy, that's a big conversation to have. And we could have that whole conversation today in this moment, right? But we're going to expand that to include the cosmic energies and the earth energies and maybe a little meditation and really having us have a nice, rich experience. So we're going to take a little break. And when we come back, we're going to talk some more with Kimberly about how she uses these different energies to empower herself, as well as empower her listeners, her team, her tribe, and those that she serves in this way. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. So this is my trusty fish rattle that reminds me to let it go. Fish don't hold on. Fish know how to swim with the current. And that's what this world is all about these days, is really when we're in the multidimensional space and our quantum field of existence around us, it really brings in the divine feminine and allows us to have a new reality that's based on flow and ease and grace and receiving. So this particular show today is really about, it's teaching you, but it's also allowing you the space to simply receive. So Kimberly, now it is your turn to have the floor, and we would love to hear a little bit about who you are and why you are here on this planet right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, so who am I? I'm one of those beings trying to embody here on this planet. So my, I just grew up in a regular middle class family with no anything with any of this world that we live in now, and I had an awakening at age 33, which was a magic number. And I didn't realize that was a magic number when that happened. And then from that, everything within my life changed. I worked in hospital laboratory. I was a medical technologist. So my brain had been trained to look into human bodies and to look under microscopes and all of that type of stuff. And when that happened, when I had what was a trauma for me at the time, and I basically had a, breakdown, and it was like, well, that girl ain't been right since that divorce. It's like everything shifted in me. And when that happened, everything shifted in my whole world. And I now look back and I know it was a calling because I had this drive to go be a massage therapist, and I didn't even really know what they did. And as soon as I made that shift, that's when you're like surrendered everything. It's like the pieces, you're just moving through all of it. And it's kind of like the river with all the pieces, and everything has exploded and you're just in the current, and when it's like we have our choice to step into it, but one way or another, we're going to step into our calling. It's going to
Mhm.
come and wake us up, and we will go with it one way or another. It's like that's going to happen. And so that's what happened to me. And then as soon as that happened, when I started doing massage, I knew things about people. And then looking back now, I realize that I always had known things, but didn't know that I was knowing things. And so I think that happens with a lot of people. We're not recognizing our own intuition, our own inner knowing, because all of that really comes from within. And from that, more like the more I received work, and the more work I did, and the more I dedicated myself to my own spiritual path, all of my gifts started coming online. If you want, and I don't really see them as gifts. I use that word because we don't have another word to use. And they're not, because a gift sounds like somebody else gave it to you. And the truth is, they've always been there within us. We brought those in. They were our little pearls that we had within inside of us that open up. It's like I basically opened up Pandora's box. And then when that happened, like all the creation starts coming out of that. And in that time period, when that was happening, my hands would just take off, and I would be out in the field, and I would find these energy lines. It was like these little cords that went to people, and then they had balloons connected to them. And I thought it happened to every massage therapist because I didn't know any different. And I would talk to my other massage therapy friends about it, and they were like, "What are you talking about? You need to go there." They call that you're doing some kind of energy work, and you need to go find out what this is. So
Oh,
that sent me on, that finding. That's kind of how my path was. Whatever it was would come to me, and it would already be there. And then I would start trying to find out what this was, like a wild Google chase where you're you're like, you've Googled it in and you're off on all these chases trying to find out what is this. So
so
that's
how long ago was that? How many years
uh
ago, for those of you who are listening would like to
90
know?
between 93 and 96. I
Okay.
was on that because 93 was when I would because I'm 61 now. So in 93 was when I was 33. And then during that time period, like things were all falling apart. And then, yeah, so during that time period, it was that
Okay.
years of intensity. So it's been that long,
Yeah.
that I was, and so I went off to a lot of different stuff. And now, I was thinking about it this week, actually, because I was looking at these eclipses and the times that we have in our own astrology chart. And I was looking at the significance of the different dates and what those, the time periods of the awakenings and what that was for me in my own personal chart. And so that's that predestined time that we had. We came in with that map. When the way I see it now, when Gaia herself called out from Earth to Spirit and said, "Bring this vibration. I need this on Earth now to help humanity." And that part of the I am, the one, the spark of light, it individuates, it separates from the whole and individuates. And then it goes to soul library and the DNA encodements. And then we create what this is that we're going to be, this vessel, in order to carry the calling that we came in for, that we came
Yeah.
in for all of humanity, to bring that vibration that would be needed here on Earth. So I see it as that now. And when and that was like those, it was just like cords like this that would be all entangled. And the balloons that I would see when I started going into them, like I would put my hand in them, and sometimes I saw past lives, sometimes I saw like things lineage, things from their lineage, and it was parts of them that had like been thrown out or traumas in this lifetime. And I was basically doing what they call now soul retrieval, but it's like bringing the pieces back. But so when I would ask Spirit, because Spirit said to me, you can be a puppet as long as you want to, but you can be a conscious healer when you ask the questions. We will give you the answers. You just asked, and it'll all be shown to you. So
Wonderful.
I started asking, it's like I made the decision to be conscious with it.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what it's all about. I talk a lot about that, which is that our choice now in this human collective, if you will, is to bring all of the things that have not been conscious forward to the consciousness. So when we talk about connecting to spirit and connecting to God and to connecting to this spirit animal and that totem and that tree, we're doing it consciously and bringing it to life in us, right? So that there is no separation.
No,
There
there's
used to
part
be a
of
lot
us.
of it, and
Yeah.
now we're becoming one with it.
Yes. Yeah, because all of those different dimensions like that, there is some aspect of us within it, that's like you said, living out the thing. And so when I started following those lines out, then they told me these were like life threads. And then I saw where they went out to what I was calling the Matrix. I don't know when the Matrix movie was even created. I'm not even sure that it was there then, because they told me this is the Matrix. This is what we're plugged into. And then I would see how people that they were plugged in to these mind constructs. And that the mind constructs was what we believed our reality, we were creating from the mind constructs. We believe, it's like being the little wind up toy. And we were creating from those programs. And when you plug from those, when you take it out, it's like you can't hear it anymore. It's like you just unplugged from the Matrix. And as you unplug from those, then they're not, they don't run you anymore, because they're creating your creation. And when you unplug from that, then you can be the conscious creation of what it is that you're bringing in and how you're creating with that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it occurs to me that for those that don't quite understand what you're saying, is there a little short exercise that you could show us that gives us a real down to earth kind of experience of unplugging?
Yeah, let me see how to bring that in and to a way that's going to be most beneficial.
Great.
Well, it's like when I unplug from this, it's like you're not listening to, it's like the radio. You just turn the channel, you're not listening to that channel anymore. It's like you can hit the button and it can go to another channel, and you don't have to go back and listen to that. And in those mind constructs, there's like the one that is the chaotic mind of humanity. And all of the chaos is within that. So it's all of that woulda, coulda, shoulda energy. That's trauma in the chaotic parts because it wants to heal. And it's still out here running around because it's really unclaimed emotions. People didn't know how to handle their own emotions and escape from it in some way. And all of these fragmented pieces are out here.
Got it.
So it would be like if you saw a semi truck run over a cardboard box and all the pieces just, the particles blow everywhere. And it's like they're still out there. They're still all over the road. And, the next car hits them too. It's like they're still all over the place. And it's that kind of energy like that. And so when we start unplugging from that, then it's not what's controlling us anymore. So when I saw the constructs of the mind, there's like the chaotic mind of humanity, the big one that we all came in to help transmute, to calm it down, to bring it into a place of neutral. And then there's also like a mind construct, a belief system within the family units. What was passed on from this lifehood, this experience within the family itself. And then that's also the area, of that where people live at, what the consciousness is within maybe the whole area there.
Got it.
And then we have then there's mind constructs that are within your own DNA encodement. And that goes back multiple generations back.
Yeah, got it.
I mean, that's kind of like the curse of the generations. It's like that's even biblical, that how that can carry on for 7 generations. So, this is not new. We just use new words for it because we have another understanding. A lot of these things have been written over and over, and then we think it's all new again. And it's just because we've came to another, understanding of what it is that's going on. And so there's different time periods, like right now, the whole cosmic influence that's happening. We have eclipses that are going on. And so tonight after midnight, there's a lunar eclipse, and then we have a solar eclipse on December the 4th. And these are marked periods because the astrologists can look back at what happened. Now, we have enough history that we know of on this planet. Now they can look back and know, well, this happened at this time when these exact alignments happen on Earth. And so there's like a part of it that's called mundane astrology. So there's a part of it that marks history and the trends of what happens. And then those energies affect us. I mean, we know the full moons affect the world. We see it. It's like it affects the ocean. It affects the tides in the ocean. And then here we are, mostly water in our own body. So there is a, there is a energy that affects us with those frequencies when they're at a height, like that they are, when they're at those certain points, and we can utilize those, and we can utilize that energy in those frequencies to when we're conscious of it. And even you don't have to know astrology to be conscious of it. You can do that in prayer and meditation, and to release whatever it is that's no longer serving you. And if you're not conscious, you're going to feel it anyway. I mean, when you go out, you're going to see, that that things are happening to people. You may see car wrecks, you may see all kinds of things. Back when I used to work in the hospital, we all knew on full moons, that was when all the babies were born, and all kinds of car wrecks happened that night. Everybody at the ER was like, oh gosh, it's a full moon. That means the crazies will be in tonight. And it was a known thing. It's not, it's like people knew that. It's just like that was a known thing, that it would be a busy night because it was a full moon.
Yep.
Yeah. So those energies do affect our own frequencies, but the more we unplug from things, we won't be as affected by it as the ones that are still asleep. The ones that aren't conscious, it's going to spin them out because they're not going to have any coping mechanisms to deal with the energies.
Got it.
Because it's that unclaimed emotional bill to start with, that's spun out to begin with. And that's what's in the story.
Yeah.
It's keeping us in the movie.
Yeah. So with the eclipse coming up tonight, is there an exercise or a meditation or a visualization that you could take us all through?
I'll take us through, and we'll do the release of the mind matrices here. I'll take us through that because that can be really simple, and like where I've done it so many times, I can just release from them. And okay, so what with that, the way that you have plugged into some mind matrix type thing is when you're in a scenario when you're talking to yourself over something. That's a simple way to know that you've went off on some tangent, and it's like you're like all by yourself and you're in some standoff and you're in that energy of, well, when they say this, then I'll do that. And then when that happens, I'll do this. And you're like in this whole thing with some imaginary person that you have created this whole entire drama with. Okay. And it's like when you unplug from all of that, then that you're not plugged into that. It doesn't even exist. So that we've all had those experiences, that, I mean, people do it in traffic. It's like they have road rage, and it's because of some other trauma that has happened in their life. And in that moment, that energy comes through and it whams them, and everything comes up in them, all of a sudden it's this person's fault, and they did this to them, and they went into that drama triangle of the victim and the persecutor, and the rescuer energy. And we play that with each other until we resolve the energies of it, until we no longer have the emotions that trigger that.
Right.
And if we don't have somebody to play it with, we'll play it with ourselves. That's what, we'll get in a fight with a, kitchen utensil. Be arguing with it.
Yeah. How many times have you talked to your own furniture because you just ran into it?
we will find a way to do this. I had this is a little thing the other day that I had. Okay. So I was going to go live, and like there's someone that you pay to be your coach and to tell you how to be on social media and what the image that we're supposed to present to the world. Okay. Like we're supposed to wear makeup and have false eyelashes and all this bunch of stuff, which I never do. I just am me. And I thought, oh, well, maybe I should put some makeup on. So I go in there to do that. I drop the lid into the sink. And so now I'm in a standoff with trying to get that out of there before I have a big problem. It's like, and we're in this whole Scorpion energy with Taurus, which Scorpion is the subconscious and the Taurus energy is earth and what you value. And I was like, this is so funny, because I knew not to go out that day, that people were going to be spinning out. And then I go in there and I have a standoff with my own bathroom sink over something I was not in alignment with. That wasn't my true essence. It wasn't who I was. And I was going to paint a face on for other people's perception of what. So we can't, that kind of things, that's how it can be in your everyday life.
Yeah.
When all of a sudden you like look and go, why am I giving power to this?
Yeah.
How is that giving me significance? And that's why we do the things that we do like that, because somewhere within us, we believe that we're getting significance from that.
Yeah.
And then we keep being the great pretender for everybody, the imposter, the great pretender, and everybody's pretending. And it's like, and so that's what the awakening is, when we don't do that anymore. When we unplug from all of that energy that's been running through our systems.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
It does. And I think that the listeners would love to have the cellular visceral experience of the unplugging. If you want to take us through that, that'd be great.
Yes, we'll do that. Okay. So we're going to use our breath. And you always have your breath with you. When you don't have any other tools, you always have your breath. It's there with you. And you can always drop in to your own body just by breathing. So use your breath. And when you breathe, then bring yourself with each breath into your body. So breathe and bring your awareness into your own body. So just use your breath. So just do one of those clearing, cleansing. Let it all go.
Let's do that together.
Yeah, feel that. The energy of that dropping into your own embodiment. And so we're going to ask to unplug from that chaotic mind matrix that's out there. And so when that happens, the plug to that, the little energy line that you've created, this little line that you've got, it's coming from your third eye. That's your own intuitive energy. And you have corded that out into all of that chaos, believing that there is an answer for you in all of that woulda, coulda, shoulda stuff. And when you unplug from that, your own personal energy comes back to you. You're not corded into it anymore.
So
So
let's
just
imagine. So go ahead, people,
Yeah.
and touch your third eye. Just tap it a
Yeah.
little bit.
imagine that unplugs, that you unplug from that big, cloud of energy. You're unplugging from the cloud. And when that happens, that comes back into your own intuitive center, into your own third eye. So you can feel that. Feel what that feels like when you drop into your own third eye, when you're not plugged in to all of the chaos. Kind of just ask it to unplug. You may feel yourself kind of drop more down into your body, into your hips and into your feet. Now we're going to ask to unplug from your own personal mind construct that you created from your traumas in this lifetime. Just ask for it to be done. And you may feel that in different body parts. It may be a cloud around you, or you may feel it in a specific body part. You keep using your breath. And then we're going to unplug from that mind construct that was created from the family dramas. Just ask for it to be done. And you may feel that in different body parts. You may feel it at below your belly button, in your sacral chakra, or it may be in a total different place for you. There's no right or wrong with this.
So for those of you who are wondering, gosh, how do I know if I'm unplugged? This is about trusting your innate wisdom in your body system. Your body system has wisdom that will instruct you on your own truth. And for those of you who work with spirit guides, ask your spirit team to connect in with this unplugging. And if you need to, use your physical hands and take out the strings, the energy connections to all the stuff around you. That will help you as well.
Yeah, with this, like with your lifeline, you're kind of like you're unplugging from what you plugged into. And so you're bringing your own energy back to yourself without any entanglement and enmeshments from the others that you may have entangled with. So when you unplug that cord, then it's like those cords that, you unplug and it goes back into the instrument that it came out of. So it's your personal energy that comes back to you. So to be whole within you, it's your own discernment. So we can unplug from that DNA mind construct too that came through all of the ancestral lineage.
Yeah, let's do that too.
Yeah. The traumas and dramas that they experienced. Those memories that we have that we may not even be aware that we have of that was only there for insight. All of these memories that were created from these dramas were only there for the insight, for the learning to move on. So just feel your own energy drop into your core, into your central column, the center of and down into Earth itself.
This is your center column. Remember this pillar of light.
So if you can imagine like a tree that those roots are going down through that central column, and that there's roots that go into the earth, into the heart of earth itself, this all sustaining energy that supports us, nurtures us, that all sustainability comes from, the love and support from earth herself. Feel that energy of that it's safe to be on earth.
Let's repeat that to yourself. I am safe. I am safe in my own body. I am safe being present on this earth now.
I am supported by earth. And the love and support. Feel that in every cell of your body. Kind of suck that energy up like a straw into every cell of your body. The love and support. It's like earth celebrated when you arrived. So she holds your earth records for you, for your earth path and what you came to do for that calling. So you can ask for those to be handed to you, to be activated, whatever, turn the switch on to that, for that to be handed over to you. It's like pages, like the book. It's the book of destiny. And you may see that book like light up, and it's your next step. And that those are always there for you. And you don't have to, everybody has the right to go into that, and it's always there for you. These are your sacred records. Your map. So that energy from her, from that earth purpose, from that connection to earth, and the love and support that's there, that energy comes back up that central column, that column of light that Pam showed you, all the way up to your heart. And here at the heart is where soul assimilated into this lifehood. It's the connection to that doorway of soul itself. So feel that love, that all-knowing energy that soul had when it came into this lifetime, the wisdom that it carries within the heart. And so we're going to ask for soul to recalibrate to this highest level of energy of where it's at today. So we've released from these mind constructs and that purity that soul has, and it's no longer entangled by any traumas, any woulda, coulda, shouldas. So breathe that in and feel that surrender, that release, expansion. And that energy moves all the way up through all of your energy centers and signatures. That so a part of you knows what that is. Out past your crown, out above your head, into your higher self, the connection to that. The higher self is like your GPS for this lifetime. It carries all of that information that you brought in with you, that you handed to earth for your soul walk. So this is going to align us into unity, consciousness of our own God self, our own source codes, the part of us that never separated from spirit, the part of the I am that we are, the light, that full capacity of the knowing the light of the whole and the true purpose of this walk. So it aligns your soul purpose and your earth purpose, that source purpose, and one unified path. So just breathe that in. And when you're ready, come back into this time we call now.
That was wonderful. Thank you. So for those of you who like to use affirmations and mantras, a really good one for this particular meditation visualization transmission that was just done beautifully by Kimberly is, I am spirit in form. I am God incarnate. I have chosen to be here now in body. So just try on that saying or those sayings in your daily life. See how that feels in your body system. It might feel a little awkward at first, but if you practice, then you can really, it's like reminding your cells of what they are here to do. They are here to remind you who you are. That's their job.
And that's the connection to that infinite survival and the truth of what that really is, and not what we've made it up to be here, you know, with the different types of experiences that we've had. Because when we're connected to that energy of that, it is safe to be on Earth. You know, it's humanity's consciousness that hasn't been so safe because we have free will and we turned it into a lot of things. And so as we unplug from that, and then that's when we move back into divine will. And when we move into that, then our free will is used as a tool for the divine.
That's
we
perfect.
Are the walking divine. We are the energy of that, of service.
Yes, yes. So this show, this show is very, very rich. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart, Kimberly, that you've come to give us a little piece of the wisdom that you hold in this body. We would love to let people know how to contact you for further instruction and further service from you, if they want to go into this particular wisdom that Kimberly is holding. How do they contact you, Kimberly?
I have a website that's my name, KimberlyCrowe.com.
Great.
And then I have a YouTube channel that is Kimberly Crowe. It's my name on all of it. And then I have a Facebook that is Kimberly Crowe. Well, my personal is Kimberly Crowe, and then it's Kimberly Crowe at Inner Awakened Mastery, because that's what it is that hold the container for, is for your own inner awakened mastery. So
Great.
all of that they can connect to me in any ways in that like that.
Super.
I just put up a YouTube on the whole eclipse, so
Wonderful.
They can watch
Yay.
that and watch the releasing the karma and where we're going with everything.
That's awesome. So anytime that you guys are wondering what's happening in the cosmos or happening evolutionarily, if that's even a word, on the planet, Kimberly would be a good one to connect to. Often I will be like, what's happening in the world? And I'll connect in with Kimberly and say, what in the heck is going on? Because I trust her. She's been on this path for a very long time, even before it was a thing to do. Really, right? So she was way before I was, and way before many of us, you know, who are here listening, even started. So I'm just so grateful to be in your presence and in your wisdom, and able to share with who you are, and bringing in the light. More light onto the planet is needed. So if you want to reach me, you can reach me at brightbutterflyenterprises.com, or you can email the Empower Me Show at gmail.com for further information about my services, about the show. If you're interested in being on the show, I'd love to have you as a special guest. So please let me know that that's something you're interested in. We have a live show every we were Mondays. We're now Thursdays. The first Thursday of each month at noon. It's called the Light Language Show, and where we do healings and transmissions for the planet and anything else that is needed for you, the listener, to really feel empowered with light language and energy healing. The other weeks are touch and go as far as what we talk about, but I definitely try and have guests on as much as possible so that you can get a sense of, okay, I'm not alone. Other people are experiencing some of this same stuff that I am, and they might have some tips and tools for me to use in order to be empowered. So thank you so much, all of you who have come to this particular time and space with us. And we look forward to more interaction, more transmissions, more bringing of the light and love of the Creator God, and really all of the massive support that's around you. If you're not feeling like you know how to navigate this lifetime as it is now with all the changes, please contact one of us and say, hey, I need some help, because we're here for you. It's all about our service as a soul on this planet. And we've done our work, so we are now here to serve you. We are grateful beyond words for your presence and your love for yourself, the love for your others, and your love for planet Earth. So until next time, be well and know that you are right where you belong, right here and right now. This is the Empower Me Show. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in every Monday at 3 p.m. to learn more about living a fully empowered life. Remember that your life is up to you, and you can choose the spiritual path you are on. There is spiritual energy and wisdom in everything and everyone around you. Listen carefully for what the universe is trying to tell you in every moment. You are already being guided along your journey. Call upon your spirit guides anytime you need help with anything. Know that you are safe in every moment, even if it seems that you are not. For more information about Pam Bright, visit brightbutterflyenterprises.com or email theempowermeshow@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next week.